another video module on research methodology. In this module, I am going to present the topic types of research. Let me start from a classification table. Research is classified by different authors and experts in different ways. It is one of the comprehensive way of classification of research. Here the research is classified on the basis of certain elements such as objective, outcome, logic, etc. On the basis of objective, research may be classified into descriptive, correlational, explanatory, exploratory, experimental, etc. On the basis of outcome, basic and applied. On the basis of logic, deductive and inductive. On the basis of process, quantitative and qualitative. On the basis of inquiry mode, structured and unstructured. On the basis of idea or concept, we can classify research into conceptual and empirical. Then what is descriptive research? It is the simplest type of research. Descriptive research is a fact-finding investigation. This is the investigation conducted to find facts. It is the description of an existing situation. Here we are describing an existing situation. Then researcher has no control on the variable. There is no control on the variable by the researcher. Descriptive statistics is used to analyze data and interpret the result. There are two types of statistics, descriptive statistics and analytical statistics. Here the descriptive statistics such as mean, median, mode, etc. are used to analyze data and interpret the results. It aims at identifying various characteristics of a problem, community, or an institution. It helps in predicting social life and helpful for planning social programs. It includes surveys and fact-finding inquiries. It may be cross-sectional or longitudinal. Types of descriptive research. Descriptive research may be classified into cross-sectional and longitudinal. Longitudinal may be further classified into trend, panel, and cohort. Then cross-sectional. It is a research in which data is collected from a population at one point of time. Here the data is collected only once in the research process. Then longitudinal. It is a research method in which data is gathered for a period of time. That means the data is collected more than once. Data is collected more than one time. Longitudinal survey may be trend, panel, and cohort. Next, trend studies. A trend study is a longitudinal study which samples different groups of people at different points of time. That means same population but different samples over a period. Here the population will be the same but the samples are different. For example, an opinion survey in a village is conducted in 2018 and 2019, that is before and after election. So population is the adults of the village in both time 2018 and 2019. Population is the same, that is the adults of the village, but different samples are taken in 2018 and 2019. Next, panel studies. These are longitudinal studies in which data is collected from the same population with the same sample at a different time. That means population and sample will be the same at different times. For example, a survey in a group is conducted in 2017 and 2018. Data is collected from the same persons both times. Next class of longitudinal study is cohort study. A cohort study is a longitudinal study which samples a cohort, a group of people who share a common characteristic at the interval through time. So it is a longitudinal study in which we samples a cohort. A cohort is a group of people who share a common characteristic or common feature. For example, smokers or non-smokers or drunkards or people using borewell. These people share a common characteristic. Such people are considered as a cohort. The goal is to understand the relationship between some attribute related to the cohort at the beginning of the study and later. So the objective is to analyze the relationship between some features of the cohort at the beginning of the study and in a later period. It may be single cohort study or the comparison study of two or more cohorts. It can be conducted either by taking a single cohort or by taking two or more cohorts. Then sample characteristics are the same. Sample characteristics will be the same. Generally used in the field of medicine, psychology, social science, etc. Cohort studies are generally found in the field of medicine, psychology, social sciences, etc. One example of a cohort study. Here two cohorts are taken. One is the smokers and the other one is the non-smokers. The data is collected from smokers in 2018. Then they are followed over time and the data is again collected from these cohort, that means from smokers in 2019. In the same manner, the data is collected from non-smokers in 2018. They are also followed over time and the data is again collected in 2019. Then after 2019, the results of these two, that means the data on smokers and non-smokers are compared to make inferences about the relationship between these two cohorts. Then other studies related with the descriptive study or other studies which are included in descriptive study. First one, ex post facto study or after the fact study. It is a quasi-experimental study. Quasi-experimental simply means participants are not randomly assigned. In a true experiment, participants are randomly assigned. Here, the participants are not randomly selected. In ex post facto study, research starts after the fact has occurred or after the occurrence of an event. Majority of social research is based on ex post facto study. It generally investigates possible cause and effect relationship of variables. For example, a study on road accidents. Here a study is conducted on road accidents occurred during a particular period. Next one is historical study. It is the study based on past records. For example, financial analysis. In financial analysis, an analysis is made on financial records such as profit and loss account, balance sheet, etc. So it is an example of historical study. Then the next one is analytical research. It is the study using analytical techniques and inferential statistics. In descriptive research, only descriptive statistics is used, but in analytical research, both descriptive and analytical statistics are used. Next one, diagnostic study. Research conducted to identify the causes of a problem and to find possible solution. It is called diagnostic study. Example, research conducted to find the causes of huge loss incurred by KSRTC and find a solution. The next one is case study. It is an in-depth study of a single case, a social unit or a situation. It investigates a phenomena with its real life context. For example, case study on success factors of startup companies. Next one, correlational study. It is undertaken to discover or establish relationship or independence between two aspects. For example, impact of stress on educational performance. Here the relationship between stress and educational performance is measured. Another example, impact of advertising on sales of a product. Here the relationship between advertising cost and sales of a product is studied. Next one, explanatory research. It is the expansion of correlational research. It is the research conducted to identify the extent and nature of cause and effect relationship. That means once a relationship is established, next an explanatory research is conducted to identify the extent and nature of this relationship. Example, why and how stress leading to less productivity, or why and how promotion leading to high sales. Next, exploratory research or formulative research. It is an initial research. It is a preliminary study of a new problem about which the researcher has little or no knowledge. So, exploratory research is only a preliminary study or initial research. It is similar to a doctor's initial investigation of a patient or the FIR prepared by police. The first information report prepared by the police. It is prepared on the basis of the available information on the spot. It is the initial research conducted to clarify and define the nature of a problem. It is ill-structured. It does not provide conclusive evidence. Subsequent research is expected after the exploratory study. Then different types of exploratory research or different methods of exploratory research. First one, literature survey. That means the survey of available literature. Then experience survey. That means the survey conducted on the experts in the field. Then a study of insights stimulating cases. Some cases related to the event or fact may be studied. Then analysis of secondary data. Next, experimental research. It is a scientific approach to research. It deals with the why questions. Why do things happen? It is the research in which the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable is usually observed and recorded. It analyzes the relationship between independent variables and dependent variables. One or more independent variables are manipulated and applied to one or more dependent variable to measure their effect on dependent variable. So in an experimental research, independent variables are manipulated to study its effect on dependent variable. The objective of experimental research is to test hypotheses about cause and effect relationship. Then classification of research on the basis of outcome. Classify research on the basis of outcome into basic research and applied research. Basic research also called pure research, fundamental research or theoretical research. It is the original type of research. Pure research is undertaken for the sake of knowledge without any intention to apply it into practice. So here the motivation is the sake of knowledge or the desire to acquire information. Here there is no intention to apply it into a particular problem or apply it into practice. It is undertaken out of intellectual curiosity of human beings. For example, Einstein's theory of relativity or Newton's contributions, etc. Basic research attempts to expand the limits of knowledge. It is not directly involved in the solution to a pragmatic problem. Such knowledge generated, that means theories and principles, is usually later applied in applied research. So the basic research is not intended to apply it in a particular situation, but such knowledge generated or theories formulated, principles formulated, etc. may be later applied in applied research. Next type of research is applied research. Applied research is carried on to find solution to a real life problem requiring an action or policy decision. So this type of research is conducted to apply it in a particular situation or to solve a particular problem in the society. The research done with the intention of applying the results of the findings to solve specific problems in the organization or society is called applied research. So it is conducted to solve the problem in the organization or society. It may be based on the application of theories, principles developed in pure research. So it may be based on the application of theories and principles which was developed in a pure research. For example, research conducted to discover medicine for AIDS. Another example, research conducted for developing a new product. Let us analyze the difference between pure research and applied research. First one, pure research is the original type of research, but applied research is based on pure research. Pure research is related with the generalization and formulation of a theory, but the applied research is related with the application of theories for finding a solution to problems. Pure research is knowledge oriented. Applied research is problem or goal oriented. Pure research studies any problem or aspects in the universe, but applied research studies problem with the social consequences or social effects. Then reports are prepared in technical language in the case of pure research, but in applied research reports are prepared in common language. In pure research, it tries to explain why things happen, but the applied research tries to explain how things can be changed. The success is measured by the nature of discovery in pure research, but in applied research, success is measured by goals achieved. Next classification, classification of research on the basis of logic or approach. It is also called approaches to research. Inductive research. It is the research in which inductive reasoning is used to make inference or theories. Then what is inductive reasoning? Inductive reasoning moving from specific observation to broader generalization. It moves from specific to general or particular to general. Then deductive reasoning. It is the research in which deductive reasoning is used to verify a theory or knowledge. Generally, deductive reasoning is used to verify an existing knowledge or theory. Deductive reasoning begins with a theory or hypothesis and moving to particular observation to test and verify the theory. It moves from general to particular. These both inductive and deductive studies are also called approaches to research, and it will be discussed later in detail. Then classification of research on the basis of process and first one, quantitative research or linear research. It is the systematic investigation by gathering and analyzing quantitative data. Data is collected through measuring tools and analyzed by statistical tools. So, in quantitative research, the data will be numeric and the data is collected through measuring tools and the data is analyzed by statistical tools. The next one, qualitative research. It is the research based on qualitative or non-numerical data. It is generally used to understand people's beliefs, experiences, attitudes, behavior and interactions. These type of things cannot be measured in terms of quantitative data or numerical data. So qualitative research is used in this case. Data is generally collected through observation and interview. Next, classification of research on the basis of inquiry. First one, structured research. It is the research conducted as per a well-defined plan and structure. So, a research conducted as per a well-defined plan and procedure is called structured research. In structured research, there will be definite objectives, measuring instruments, analysis tools, etc. Generally, it is quantitative in nature. Then, unstructured research. These are research conducted with a flexible research design. They are not structured. Generally qualitative in nature. Then classification of research on the basis of idea or concept. They are conceptual and empirical research. Conceptual research. It is the study conducted to develop new concepts and theories by thinkers and philosophers. This type of research is generally conducted by thinkers and philosophers to develop new concepts and theories. It may also be conducted to revise or reinterpret the existing concepts or theories. Then empirical study. It is the study based on past experiences or observations. There are some other research which are not included in this classification. Let us analyze what are the other types of. First one, meta-research or research on research. It is the research conducted to improve research methods. That means it is the research conducted to improve the methodology of research. Finding evidence-based improvements in research methods. So the objective is to find evidence-based improvements in research methods or research methodology. So it thinks or this research is conducted to improve the research methodology. The next one, action research. It is a kind of applied research. It is the research initiated to solve an immediate or progressive problem. It is an applied research in which we tries to solve an immediate or progressive problem. It is the research focuses to change the present situation. For example, the research conducted to find medicine for COVID. Now we all are struggling with the coronavirus disease. So a research conducted to find medicine for COVID is an example of action research. So this type of research is initiated to solve an immediate or progressive problem and to change the present situation. Next, participatory research or participatory action research. It is an action research which involves the participation of all relevant parties in order to change the present situation. That means researcher would be the member of the group who are involved in research. For example, a group of teachers studying classroom discipline problems. So the researcher will be a member of that group. It is also useful for studying marginalized groups who lack social inclusion. In this case, the researcher will act as a member of this marginalized group to study about them. Then let me summarize the classification of research presented in this module. On the basis of objective, we can classify research into descriptive, correlational, explanatory, exploratory, and experimental. On the basis of outcome, basic and applied. On the basis of logic, deductive and inductive. On the basis of process, quantitative and qualitative. On the basis of inquiry mode, structured and unstructured. On the basis of idea or concept, conceptual and thank you.